Now, if you've been wondering how to get around Thailand using the Grab app, and then you see that there's an option called Grab Bike, don't be too scared. You have to have some kind of faith because often you don't have a helmet. But I've just booked a Grab Bike to pick me up from the accommodation I'm at now, and supposedly it's going to be a Honda Super Cub. It's a 33 baht ride, and yeah, the rider is that far away, so not too far away. And in a situation like this, I get the cash out, put it in my pocket, and leave my wallet in my locked pocket. I always have a button up or a zip pocket where I keep my cash in. And even that's not the safest thing in the world, but it is what it is. Now, I just want to showcase that this thing works, Grab Bike works, and it's somewhat safe. I mean, we'll see. If I crash on this trip, then you'll know, but yeah, I'm pretty happy using it. And I'm not even in Bangkok at the moment, I'm in Hua Hin, and Hua Hin is about 2.5 hours south on the Gulf of Thailand. I'm looking forward to my first little ride through Hua Hin, even if it's not me riding, even if I'm just jumping on the back of someone's bike. Now, as he comes closer, when he gets to about there, I'll probably jump out onto the main road because I don't want to, miss the guy. I like to give them as little trouble as possible. They're earning, a small amount really. That's 40 baht. That's nothing. To take me, what a normal taxi in New Zealand, because we don't have motorcycle taxis, would cost $25–30, which is 700–800 baht. So yeah, this is the traffic going down the hill into Hua Hin. Another scoopy, probably a wave up there. The old mate is not far away. It's 100% a no helmet province, unlike Bangkok, which is definitely a please wear your helmets if you are the rider. If you're a passenger, it seems to be a different story. But every now and then they'll go on big blitzes and it'll change for everyone, so there you go. Take up.
Alright, and here we are. Now I'm sitting on the Grab Bike, and it was a bit of a shock at first because the guy's got a delivery box on the back. I guess shock isn't the right word, but it was kind of funny. And, it makes sense. These guys aren't actually paid that much. If you're doing, say, 8 to 12 hours of deliveries, you can only come away with 1,000 baht, which is about 40 New Zealand dollars or about $30 US for a whole day's work. And it's to be honest, it's not a terrible wage over there, but it's still not the best in the world when you take into account the costs and things like that. It was really nice just to jump on the back of a bike and go for a ride throughout Hua Hin. This is a Wave 125i. I own a Wave 125i back in New Zealand, so it was safe to say I was having an absolute blast. I know I'm wearing a mask in this video. It's a bit weird. Over there, everyone was just wearing them, and in New Zealand, we don't anymore. But, I just kind of did as the locals do, and to be honest, when you're going through traffic, sometimes the fumes and stuff, it's kind of nice. It just makes things a little bit better. Bikes going past are always fascinating. Just before you saw that little food truck, but it's not a truck, it's a motorcycle. There's a Honda PCX 150 or 160 possibly, just being used two up. And now we're about to hit the centre of the market. So I'll walk down the street and show you all these cool bikes. But a small ride through Hua Hin was awesome, and it only cost me $1. And I think on the way back it was about the same. So there wasn't any cost increase, despite it becoming a busier time later on.
Alright, that's it. That's the motorcycle taxi we just took, and it's a lineman taxi. He actually delivers food for lineman, which is another one of those kind of grab bike apps and stuff like that. So anyway, we're in Hua Hin, and it's a pretty cool experience compared to Bangkok, purely because of the difference in motorcycles. There's a lot more older stuff here. I've noticed a lot of two-strokes going past the accommodation I'm staying at the moment, so we're going to walk down the street and check out the motorbikes, but not before we check out this Mazda Estina or Mazda Lantis. JDM pure perfectness. So we've got an old Honda Wave here, Honda Click, Honda Dream with a kid's seat, and a Yamaha Mio 125. Got an old Wave with alloy wheels, busted forks, and it's a pretty cool bike. Let's jump over here. The Scoopy, and then an Aerox 155. And the reason I'm walking down this street is I've seen a couple of things. Is that it's a Honda Wave trike. That thing's wild. I want to go chase it, but he's disappearing. I think that's like an ice delivery trike or something similar. Ice gets delivered in big white sacks over here. Anyway, down here I saw a couple of, oh look, there's your typical ute with chrome bar rack. They're very, very normal, those chrome racks on a lot of utes. an old Yamaha Spark. I think it's so old it's a 110, not a 115. And then the reason I've wanted to come around here is because they've got a lot of these trailers. And if I find the right trailer, MSX, early model, see that big bar up the front there? So they've got these trailers with bike wheels on them. That big bar, I'll show you on this bike. They pull the trailer up like you would normally, and they sit the bar just about there, and then you sit on top of the bar, and then when you ride along, the trailer just follows you. So obviously you don't do that at speed. Look, a Saling. So that's a Wave 110, the backbone of Asia. Successor to the Honda Dream and the Honda Super Cub in a roundabout way. But this bar here, you just sit right up there on the hump. Obviously not on that one because it's a Saling. You sit it right up there on the hump, and you sit on top of that bar. You see why it's all worn, because it's been rubbed on both sides by someone sitting on it and it's sitting on the seat. And you go for a hoon and take everything you need wherever you go. Here we've got a Honda Wave 100 food cart. This is selling fruit, and you notice the bottom of the cart's all rusty. That's because it's got ice in there. It gets delivered to them every day, probably on that Honda Wave trike thing that just went past. And that's basically what sets them up with their cold fruit for the day. Sometimes, you know, depending on how hot the weather is and how much ice they've got delivered and how much storage they have, they might get 2 or 3 different deliveries of ice per day. This thing is cool. An old Honda Dream, locked up, as you can see, but there's a Honda Dream Saling. It's a 3-wheeler, so you've got it attached here on the left side of the frame with just some wrought iron bar, and as you can see there as well, big flat steel floor, which I do like. And you know, it's right here next to another semi-old, probably 10-year-old Wave 110 and the Click, a newish Fulano and a newish PCX 150. Although the newest PCXs are 160. That lady's pushing her Wave, maybe she's run out of gas. Another Wave Saling, or kind of trike. And they're a beautiful machine. I do enjoy them. That's a Wave 110. They're actually quite rare back in the day. That was the big block Wave when the Wave 100 was out. So yeah, if you had one of those, you wear a big wig. Carbureted only. KSR 110, no clutch, as you can see. Before the Grom, 110cc, so they came out quite a long time ago, and I do think they're a very cool bike. But they don't get the respect they deserve. There's a KSR, no, not the KSR 125, the Z125 Pro. That's not a Z125 Pro, it's a Scoopy. But there's the Z125 Pro, and that kind of is what it is. You know, but the Grom's definitely taken over that part of the field, that segment, if you will. Giant Avos. They were huge. Yamaha Move or Honda Move? Honda Move. Helmet in. A short-lived model of Honda Move is not for sale anymore. Just another shape of your standard twist and go to try and entice a few people, you know. As you do. It's got a Wave, a Fulano. That's cool. A Dream 110. Super Cub 110. Massive food cart on the side, and that thing sounded like it was skipping teeth on the cam gear as he was riding. And maybe it was. But yeah, checking out the different bike, a Wave 125, an older Wave 125 Saling. And then you've got like a Chinese copy 200cc, GPX. So they're made in Thailand, but they're basically just Chinese copy technology slapped into a brand that can be reproduced and sold over here in Thailand. I think they're made here. I will try check. An X1R Yamaha. Those things are somewhat rare. A weird looking Grom that's had kind of a bumblebee effect added to it. The Dream 110 Saling. Another Dream Pheno Click. But now 1200. Boo. Sit down, you look silly. And a nice Wave 125i. And then a Honda Grom just there. So there's a lot. There's a massive amount. ADV 150 in the wild, X-Max in the wild, Click in the wild, Wave 100, Wave 110i. Those Wave 110s kind of are definitely one of the more prominent machines you see in this world. Yamaha, Honda Move. I keep thinking it's a Yamaha, but it's a Honda. Anyway, we'll finish the video off, I think, this Thailand car park with a quad, a Hunter 125. That would not be allowed in certain places, but it looks like it tows a food caravan. If you rode around that in Bangkok, you'd be in trouble. Crystal, an old Suzuki 2-stroke, and I had a Zoomer about that age, less dirty, that was white, and that was pretty cool as well. This is quite nice. I do love this, like an old Wave 125 with the white wheels. It just kind of gives me a lot of pleasure in ways that I cannot describe. Anyway, I think it's time to go eat some food because I'm hungry. And now we're getting into the e-bikes, which are very, very sad. Anyway, okay, let's go this way and go down to the market. I'm gonna eat some food and you can chill out thinking about the Thai bikes in Hua Hin.